Hey guys, this is Tristan with Circuit Motorsports. We're out here at SEMA 2013, and I'm here with Tobin and Mervin of EcuTek, and they've been out here doing meetings with dealers, customers, and they've made some announcements. So they're going to go over some of those announcements, and they're also going to talk about some of the new things that they're doing and coming out with, and we'll get to those right now.
Yeah, Just a little bit about me. I've just joined EcuTek back in June, and my objective is to really ramp up the marketing.
Okay.
And so part of that was to come to SEMA this year and do a lot more than we normally have. So we had 2 events, all-day events, primarily for dealers, and we had parties in the evening for end users, owners. So the objective of the events was to give dealer training, and also to make our announcements and talk about the marketing that we're going to do for next year. So we had a GTR event on the Wednesday, and we had a BRZ event on the Thursday. And they were really very successful, well attended by the dealers, and it was great to see. Great to see. So we had a few announcements, and the first that we had on the Wednesday was to do with GTR, which is our latest Phase 4 announcement. Back in June, we launched Phase 3, which was a hell of a lot of a big push for us. We had boost off the line, we had launch control, we had flex fuel, etc. And our major competitor is still struggling at the moment to catch up. And so we thought, well, what a good idea if we have Phase 4 and rub their noses in it while we're still here. So we've added a major feature to the GTR platform, which is rolling launch. These days, over in the States, it's a really popular racing format, and the good thing about our rolling launch is that it's really simple to use. When it operates through the cruise control, so all you do is set the cruise control at the speed you want to do. If your partner that you're racing against is edging forward, you just flick the cruise control up or flick it back, and when you want to arm the software, you put your foot to the floor. That builds the boost, and when you're ready to go, you just click cancel. Simple as that. Fantastic piece of software that we've got there on RaceROM. So that's been really popular. We've got a couple of other features, which I think probably Mervin's better qualified to talk about because they're a bit more technical.
So included in the GTR, we've, along with the rolling launch, which is basically our launch control as we're driving along,
Right.
we're putting in some extra safety systems to help protect the GTR. Things like we're now monitoring oil pressure, so any kind of drop in oil pressure, we can protect the engine, pull the boost pressure, try and save somebody's engine. There's quite a few fuel pump issues now on the GTR. We are watching fuel trims, and when the fuel pumps start to fail, particularly the secondary pump, we're watching the fuel trims, and we can start to do things like pull the boost pressure back now to protect the engine again. Our unique custom maps has additional functionality. We can now set up timers for it, so that we can set cold start timers. We can, if we have an oil pressure problem, we can put a flag on, we can put a light on the dash, and that will stay on until the customer turns the car off. And in addition, the gearbox control, we're updating the gearbox access where we can adjust the shift maps on the car, and we're currently looking at the clutch slip so we can protect the engine in the event of a clutch slip. So if the car has an overboost, the clutch is slipped, they're going to burn out very quickly, so we reduce the engine power output. These are just a few of the GTR updates that we've been working on that are currently ready to go.
Okay. So with the monitoring the oil pressure and the fuel pressure or the fuel pumps, you can actually basically program in a fail-safe.
Yep.
So if your oil pressure drops below a certain level that the engine's monitoring, you can create a custom map basically to save the engine on the car.
Correct.
Okay.
And we can set them against temperature as well. So you're not going to want a map that's looking at oil pressure when you start the engine. So the oil pressure can be very low when you start it, so you don't want to say at 4 psi put the light on, because it's going to happen when starting.
Right.
So we have all the control in there for timer delays and minimum temperatures, minimum run time. That's all built into the software.
Very nice. And you also have some new features that you're beta testing for the Subaru WRX STI right now?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Merv's best to talk about that again.
Subaru STI, I wasn't expecting to talk about these, but yes, we have been testing off the back of some other products we've been developing. Updates for the Subaru STI, Subaru WX. We have added the new VE-based speed density map, which is an improvement over our old mass airflow-based speed density. It's given us some superior control. In addition to that, we've got improved launch control. The launch control is now more responsive, and it's a time-based launch control system. While we're in launch control, we've also added our GTR boost off the line feature. So while we're in launch control mode, we can now control boost pressure, target boost pressure. So for cars that have got good tyres, good setup, maybe at the drag strip, you can start to wind the torque in big turbo cars, wind the turbo up to a preset pressure while we're in launch mode. And the third update is, quite significant, flex fuel. We can now import the Zetronic sensor, is the one we've been testing with, pull it into the ECU, and we can set up ignition, fuel and cranking control relative to how much ethanol content ratio we have in the fuel tank, giving the STI, WX, Forester and Legacy true flex fuel ability. No more guessing at calibrations, making sure you've got enough E85 or enough petrol in the tank. Is the car running right? It's a thing of the past.
So that's if guys then are running short of gas, there isn't an E85 station nearby, they can just put normal fuel in and
it's going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Working extremely well. We've got at least 4 dealers been testing it. It's on one of our dealers in Australia has just tested it on a 2013 car, so that's the very latest model down there, and we've rolled that out for 140 different Subaru drive-by-wire ECUs, and I think we support 180 different ones. There's certain ECU versions we can't do it on, there just isn't enough space in the ECU for our custom code.
Right.
It's huge, but it's quite an achievement. So boost off the line, flex fuel, improved launch control, and the SDVE are the 4 updates for the STI, WX, drive-by-wire cars.
And that's in beta right now, so that'll be released as an actual downloadable update sometime shortly.
I want that out by the end of this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we can give it to you guys now.
Right. Okay.
So you can have it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then as far as MX-5, you've got some new features that you've added to the MX-5 as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard over here has been working really hard on MX-5 and has got some great race run features, which again is something that is worth talking about because of the way our platform is structured. Once we have got race run features for one particular car, then it enables us to then roll that out progressively to each of the other cars that we've got in the platform. Whereas some of our competitors, they'll do race ROM for type features for particular cars, and then they've got to re-engineer it all over again for another car. So that's why, specifically, we are ahead in the GTR platform, and a lot of other platforms were coming forward with this race ROM features. So yes, coming back to MX-5, we've got launch control, we've got flat foot shifting, we've got map switching, we've got auto blip and speed density.
Awesome.
So, that's going to really make the MX-5 platform sing.
So basically these new features, you come up with a new feature, you program it in, and the way that you have your software set up is once you've done it on one car, it's very easy to kind of roll it into the next car, fine-tune it, and then you can release it very quickly.
Correct.
Okay.
I wouldn't say easy. Let's give it its due. We initially designed all the features. They've been available on the BRZ, the FRS for some time now. So we do the initial chunk of work where we develop each feature, and then off the back of that, we're constantly refining it, which is what we just talked about with the STI.
Right.
So we're updating the STI. That was on top of work that we did 2 years ago.
Right.
With the MX-5, we're rolling across what we've done on the BRZ. That's been very well received, but even still, we're still refining it further. And Rich has added some launch control features in the way we present the launch control that's not available on the BRZ, but will be available on the MX-5.
Okay.
So constantly pushing forward. So we bring it across. We get it working. That's quite a lot of effort.
Right.
We've been working on it about 3 months now, but then we improve it while we're still there. And if we end up with a better version of it, we can roll that back to the other products
Go back
as
to the
well.
platform. Cool.
But
Works well.
it's launch control, flat foot shift and auto blip features that are available on the STI and the BRZ. We got that working on the MX-5, and the map switching, and we're driving the rev counter when we're map switching. The rev counter shows us what mode we're in, and the speed density is actually working. I wasn't aware of that till today. Things just
pop up here and there.
things just
The guys are still
get
working hard
done.
at the office,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
So speed density, that's quite an achievement for the MX-5, and that's all models from 2006, the NC models from 2006, the Gen 3 and the Gen 3.5 up to the latest 2013 or in the US 2014 models. So that's a lot of cars out there that can benefit from this.
Okay.
Hopefully make the MX-5 or Miata as you call it here, make it the cool car that it should be.
Right. Give it a lot better features and
Yeah.
drivability.
Yeah.
And some of the features you have for the MX-5, you have a new update for the BRZ FRS as well. So you mentioned the speed density, and you've got a few other things that are available on the BRZ FRS for a new update. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The BRZ development hasn't stopped. It's continuously moving along. In particular, what we've talked about already, the VE speed density. We currently have speed density for the BRZ. We felt we could improve it further, and off the back of some GTR work that we've been doing for the last 18 months, we've worked out a very good formula for calculating speed density now, and we've rolled that across into the BRZ. So quite a few people have been testing it already, working extremely well, been well received, and the speed density, VE-based speed density, is going to be available soon. In addition to that, the improved launch control. The launch control has been improved. It's going to be more responsive now. As you step on the throttle, the RPM is going to rise much quicker before the torque reduction comes in and holds it on the limiter there. It's one of the updates. The flex fuel import is something we've had. It's been constantly improved. It's been working very well, and feedback from dealers is enabling us to improve the feature. Technical documentation, helping other dealers get the best out of the feature, which is quite important, along with the closed loop boost control. The closed loop boost control was available earlier this year using custom maps. We can get an FRS BRZ to control boost pressure using a valve, a carbon canister valve that's on the car. It's been working pretty well, but it wasn't quite good enough. And our commitment to the cause, we've continued, and we can now control the valve speed, the frequency of the valve, which has really turned the boost control super tight. We've got proportional, integral, closed loop boost control on a NA car, so we're really pleased about that. And the latest one, we've been refining the traction control. Again, custom maps has enabled us to do traction control, but we've been refining it. We put weighting factors in now for vehicle speed, so low speed launches will be more aggressive than high speed launches. The last thing you want when you're doing a high speed drift, maybe 100 mile an hour, is that you get the same kind of torque reduction that you're going to do on a launch. It's going to destabilise the car. In addition to that, we've got four-way map switching, so we can set the traction control up for different amounts of aggression in the different modes. So if the customer's at the track and he's getting too much traction control going on, he can switch back to a lesser setting. It's almost like adjustable on the fly traction control.
Right, so you could have like an autocross map, you could have a track day map, you can have a daily driving map, and you can have varying levels of traction control cut in for that.
Yep, correct. Okay. Yeah, very, very powerful. We're really pleased about it. So, we're constantly pushing the product forward, and just because it's been released, we've already got these features, doesn't mean we can't enhance them, make them better. And it's been part of the event here at SEMA, is that we've got our dealers together, and it's our chance to push this information forward to them, to improve them so they can do a better job tuning the cars.
Excellent.
Very successful.
Absolutely. And part of the marketing support as well is going to be more better manuals for dealers. So they'll be more complex, they'll be more detailed, and we launched the BRZ one and the GTR at our events. So much more comprehensive.
Okay.
Training information.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is important, obviously, for the dealers. We know a lot about our product. The dealers are tuners at the end of the day, but the more we can pass on to them, the better it will be. We've started earlier this year with webinars, online webinars. They've been very well received, so it's part of our commitment to our dealers and pushing the product forward.
And you also mentioned you're going to have a lot more support for your customers as far as the BRZ FRS goes, with more forum support
Yeah.
and interaction and being able to answer questions and such, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, as we recognise that there hasn't been much presence on the forum, so now going forward, I will be posting much more on the forum, and obviously, guys, PM me, ask me questions, anything you need to know. As much as I can tell you, I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be out there, and I welcome your comments and questions.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you guys being here with us and going over all the information, and we look forward to the new updates and all the support you guys are going to have on the forums.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue with BRZ. We're going to continue to develop that, push forward.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
We're not stopping. It's a fast changing market, and our eyes are wide open, and customers are very important, so we'll deliver what we need to.
Yeah, and thanks for coming along tonight.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay.